She's like, this is fucking weird.
I know.
We're very accommodating with the
love
coffee.
this.
But
Okay.
This is
just
everything
to
right now.
compensate, Brian's gonna chew up a cookie and
Mhm.
spit it in my mouth like a baby bird.
Right.
Just,
We play Ookie Cookie.
Yeah, can I watch it?
oh God.
You ever hear of Ookie Cookie?
Oh yeah,
What is
for
that?
sure. Oh, I know Ookie Cookie.
Ookie
Yeah.
Cookie is when you get a bunch of guys that stand in a circle and jerk off onto a cookie, and the last guy to come on the cookie has to
eat it. Oh, okay.
Best 11th birthday ever.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, everybody. We're back. I know that was kind of weird because we started the YouTube show, and then if you're just listening, you're not going to even notice. But if you're watching, sorry, we had to jump out. Stella Carter showed up. We rebooted the shit, and now we're back. And welcome. You can obviously, if you're watching, you can comment and all that bullshit over on the right there. But if you're listening, just unzip, get comfortable. Stella Carter, everybody. Hi, welcome.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
We should have some intro music.
Boom. Tits on fire. Tits on fire. God perspires. Right. Mother was a liar. Right. Urine tastes like candy. Water. What? Anyway, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being part of what we're doing here.
Having me.
I have to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I don't really know your deal.
Wow. Okay.
But that's okay. That's good.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? 100%. You seem like but number one, here's what I know about you. You went to Sacramento State already, and you spent some time in Chicago.
I spent some time in Chicago. That just happened this year.
What's going on with Chicago? Why Chicago?
No, listen, I actually have some great producers out there that frequently work with me.
Is that right?
Yeah, and so I just figured, my
Go ahead.
I guess I would say my best friend who I met on a porn set, Mia Moore. She lived in Jersey at the time.
Okay.
I lived in Jersey at the time. So we hit it off from there. She ended up moving back to Chicago. She's originally from there.
I see.
So I was like, you know what? Chicago's got the good producers out there. I can make a chunk of change. So let me try it out.
I have worked in the adult industry myself for a couple of years when I lived in Los Angeles. I have never heard anybody say that they create content other than OnlyFans or whatever in Chicago. Only thing I would say is if I was doing fetish porn,
right.
I would, if I did fart porn, I would do it in the Big Windy.
The Big Windy?
The Big Windy.
I would call it the Big Windy.
Brian, you'll like this. One of my favorite porn stars is actually based in Chicago. Her name is Ms. Yummy.
Oh.
Do you know Ms. Yummy?
I don't know her.
Check her out.
Yeah. I don't, but
I think she has kind of her own production company now.
Okay.
She's a buxom
Adam
lady.
Likes BBW.
Uh-huh.
And so, you know what that is?
Of course. I don't know. They sometimes consider me one.
Right. Okay. All right. I don't
There's a whole spectrum.
And it kind of sucks because it's I'm in between Pog and BBW. So I really the real BBW sites, with the big ones, they really won't they'll tell me I'm too small. And then
sometimes you look up. I almost never put in those three letters, the BBW, because you never know what you're going to get. A lot of times you just get big round women,
right?
Which is nobody. No. I mean, I'm not. That's a very specialized thing.
But you know what? There is a huge market for it.
Is there?
There is. You would be so surprised.
Okay, so what you're saying now, Pog is fat ass white girl.
Yeah.
BBW is big beautiful woman.
Right.
So you are sort of you have a foot in both camps.
I have a foot in both camps.
You're kind of like Blade, the vampire who walks during the day, but also has all the powers of a vampire at night. But pay your taxes, unlike Wesley Snipes. So all right. So anyway, so when you say you met producers, so what you mean is you make content in Chicago.
Yes. I'm
sorry. I'm going to say. Mainly because of this Mia Moore buddy of yours lives in Chicago. So you go out there and work with her.
Okay. I'll paraphrase it a little bit better. I go to the Chicago Exotica. That's one of my favorite ones other than New Jersey.
Okay.
So in Chicago, I get booked like crazy for shoots.
Okay. Now, just for the audience, this is a porn convention.
A porn convention,
right? Where
yes.
you have a booth essentially,
right?
And then content providers or people that are producers come up and they kind of book you. So it's a way to like meet people in the industry that'll hire you for gigs.
It's good for networking, yeah, that's for sure. But usually we all kind of plan it like ahead of time.
Who's the we?
We would be, you know, anyone attending, producer-wise, girls, whatever. You know, we're like, people are starting to plan now, like, who wants to book for Chicago Exotica? So I'll have them all lined up and even, you know, get a couple more while I'm out there, if that makes sense.
So the booth, do you guys all are under an umbrella of a larger, like, digital playground or something, and you're all there? Or do you have your own, like, kind of...
Oh, I wish I was with Digital Playground.
Okay.
But sometimes it will be like Wildside, like Sarah J's, and you're just there, and you know, a couple girls take turns.
I see. And you work the counter. The fans come up, they take pictures, and you charge for pictures, right?
Charge for pictures. You sell your little 8x10s. Et
what
cetera,
about
et cetera.
pancakes? What kind of
yeah, I do that. I do that too. You know, $50 for.
So you bring a big bag of stuff, and like you have guys come up and they're like, "Hey, do you have any like used Kleenexes and stuff like that?" Or
I wish used Kleenexes. I have a ton in my purse.
Keep it all. Keep all of
right?
it. Yeah. I mean, it is really amazing what people their proclivities are sexually.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, so okay.
It's interesting to me.
You know, it's good because it kind of it has to be, because I always say, like, in this work that you do, like, if you're not like if it's not just a paycheck, if you're interested in it like anthropologically, or it has to be a little more than just doing it for the money, because otherwise you'll just get super burnt out.
Absolutely.
Right. So have you always been a sexual person?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like okay. So I'll explain like where I like got started.
Thank you.
I saw Sasha Grey on the Tyra Banks show.
Okay.
She was with Mark Spiegler.
Sure.
And they're roasting Sasha Grey, like telling her like, "Oh, you're gonna like be wearing a diaper when you're 40."
Because of her asshole.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, they don't know that it really doesn't, you know, that really doesn't happen unless you don't, you know, take care of yourself.
You got to do your anal kegels. I'm always telling. I have daughters. I'm always telling them.
I know. That's something. That's one of the things.
Yeah,
right.
God, I'm going to hell. No, it's your asshole doesn't fall out of your butt.
No. I mean, there's
Tyra Banks. You should know better,
right?
I would stop the show. I would go, stop it. Not on my Tyra Banks show.
Yeah, they were so mean. They were like calling her. They were calling her like
that big forehead
a prostitute. They was calling Mark Spiegler like, "Oh, you're pimp." Like, it was very rude. And you know, she told Rocco Siffredi to punch her in the stomach. Her first scene ever.
Okay.
Whoa!
And it just like came out like of her mouth. And I was like, wow, like she's kind of dope for that. Like, you know.
Why does she want to be punched in the stomach? I mean,
why not?
Okay, fair enough. But I mean, is that homosexual?
Touche.
I guess. Well, okay. I guess in the context of the scene, if they're going like,
yes, she like super like crazy rough.
Did you see his documentary?
I loved it.
Okay, that guy's he's dark motherfucker.
He's something.
He is something. Would you fuck him?
You know what? Probably just off the strength of how iconic he is. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'd probably fucking feel like that.
Right?
Yeah. Why not? I'd feel like rude to not. He'd be like, "Hey, Brian, I didn't want to fuck you."
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
I speak to my mouth.
I'm like, all right. I'd be like, how do you say in Italian? Lock the door, I guess. I'm gonna run out of here. Okay, so you're watching the Tyra Banks show with that 8 head of hers. It's a 4 head times 2.
Right.
And Sasha Grey, for those of you who don't know, was a porn. I mean, what is she? Okay, she was a porn girl that transitioned to mainstream in a movie with James Dean. Is that right? No, that's Lindsay Lohan.
No, she was in a movie. It's called
Ghostbusters 3.
I know she was in Entourage, right?
She was in Entourage.
Yeah, but
the movie. It's called. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Steven Soderbergh was the director, so it was like a real movie.
And it's good. They're all at a table and they play a game and like they die off.
Okay, right. But it was a big deal because she was a porn girl that transitioned not only into mainstream, but like mainstream. I think like Steven Soderbergh is Ocean's 11 and that kind of shit.
Right.
Into the Dark,
probably. It does sound like a butthole though.
What was it called?
Into the Dark.
Oh no, that's a T.
No, it's not Into the Dark.
Looking at it.
I want to like say it's like something.
Well, anyway, you're watching Tyra Banks, and you were. Let me just maybe I can just jump in and fast forward a little bit. Yeah. You were impressed by her sense of confidence and her owning her own sexuality and all. And how old were you?
13.
Well, okay. So you're watching the show and you're like, oh, she's somebody who's not ashamed of doing something which
she was only 18 at the time, and I was like, oh, glamorous. Like, something I had about it was like.
Was it called Would You Rather?
Would You Rather? Thank you. Yes. That was.
Oh no, Throat, A Cautionary Tale. Right? No, that's not it.
Come on, you.
The Girlfriend Experience. No, it was.
Does she still?
It was.
It was Would You Rather.
It was one you meant because that's the game you.
Sure, it wasn't Throat.
Yeah.
Soderbergh.
No.
Throat.
What? Are you sure? I don't know. Maybe we're gonna Throat.
I think you may have been.
Ocean's Throat.
Throat.
Yeah.
A cautionary. I just love Throat, A Cautionary Tale.
I love it.
That's a great title.
I love it.
Well, you gotta
listen.
I don't want to put anything down your throat. You know, I mean, $20 is $20, but still. All right. So you're watching this, you see her, so then from where?
So then I watched a lot of Sasha Grey stuff, and she would say really crazy things. Like she would there's like just something about like the valley and her walking like in the heels and like yelling and like like the way that she would like talk to them and be like so vocal. I was like badass.
Sure.
Empowering.
Yes. And then even like other porn too, like people that I couldn't even tell you their names.
Sure, okay.
Just see it and you're just like, like you see the girl with like her makeup done and stuff and like she's like the star. And like, okay, another thing is like I always thought that like I was going to be like a theater girl forever,
Sure.
Then when I realized that, like, okay, the chances of me being on Broadway, like, probably not going to happen. Let me just fuck.
Oh,
Listen, Throat the musical.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So funny because it'd be because really everyone should. It's like that is such an honest way to be like, listen, I'm not going to ever be on Broadway. I'm just going to create your own fame, right? I mean, that's kind of what you do. I mean, you have to sort of take ownership of so. At 13, you become. Would you say you were obsessed with porn?
I wouldn't say obsessed. I would say definitely fascinated.
Okay.
I never really like had like the porn obsession. I just loved the idea of the glamour, like fact that like like they make the girls look so pretty, and
So at what point now? You're 18 now. You're at Sacramento State.
18. First thing I did when I got my 18-year-old license, straight to My Free Cams. And that was the first step.
Okay.
And then Sexy Jobs, which is an adult forum where you could find
Sexy Jobs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you heard of it?
That was the name of the thing. It's Sexy Jobs.
Oh yeah.
Brought to you
it's
by
funny.
Sexy
like
Jobs.
I was kind of googling like how to become a porn star.
Yeah.
That was there. So I signed up and did a lot of like weird stuff in the early.
Oh, let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah.
When you say you did a lot of weird stuff in the beginning, what do you mean?
Weird, wild.
I did. Like I had like California calling me, telling me, "Oh, we'll fly you out like tomorrow." But like my mom had just passed away, and it was like weird. I didn't want to leave my sister behind, so I said, "Let me not sign with an agency." I keep getting all of these offers here in New York.
So maybe I'm confused. When you said weird stuff, what I thought you meant was like fetish work.
Okay, yeah. Yes, I definitely played a minor.
Okay.
For a video that probably never got released.
So did you look really young when you were 18?
Yeah.
And obviously they do it up a little bit.
I wore like a whole like white like very much lace
Capricorn kind of thing.
Looking and it was weird and I had to like keep calling the guy daddy. And like now in retrospect like weird as fuck. Well, no, because like the age was like definitely like something that's not acceptable.
Like they were depicting that you were.
Yes, not even a teenager.
What the depiction was something
not even a teenager.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Devil's advocate. You could make the argument that making that kind of content actually, if you're if you're somebody who that is your proclivity, right? You're a pedophile. If you're able to watch porn where you can fantasize about it, but everyone is above age and everyone's at age of consent, then maybe that person, it's enough for them so they don't go out and do something with somebody.
In a perfect world.
You know what I mean?
Fair
right.
enough.
And I will tell you
perfect world, for sure.
Like if Dahmer could have just watched a couple of horror films, right?
I think, or the cooking channel.
Yeah.
Or the cooking channel, right?
It's like, that's how you cook a black gay guy.
Right.
Oh
Yeah. Right.
I've been grilling them.
Burger out of
I think like when you talk about, like, for example, now it's amazing because I like porn. I watch porn fair amount. And it is all stepsister or stepmother. It is amazing to me. I don't know about gay stuff, if it's all like stepbrother.
I wonder.
I always think it's really funny though, because it's gotten so pervasive where you watch it and it'll even be like European. They'll be like, "Hello, stepmother. I am here for coming to make field trip party." And she's like, "You know, your father is not here." And I'm like, "Come on, you guys, let's just be Croatian and relax." Let's just be Croatian.
I wonder if that crosses,
they look at the
cultural barrier.
Well, they look at the analytics and they're like, "Listen, guys, we're losing a lot of market share to this American stepmom."
But I wonder if they really like it or if it is just what you're saying, the opportunity.
For some reason, I mean, everything is stepsister now. And it's almost, maybe it's what I'm watching, but it's always like it opens up and it's a guy with his feet and he's on the couch and the girl walks in and she's like, "Hey, I need to borrow the car." And he'll either be, and I swear to God, it's the same fucking guy. This guy gets laid like constantly. It's the same dude. I think maybe it's just me, but
this guy's been remarried 100 times.
Yeah, but no,
so many stepdaughters.
He's the stepbrother.
Oh, he's the stepbrother.
I don't like the stepdad.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Got you. I think I know the guy you're talking about.
Yeah, right. But he always goes like, and he's always like, he's like, "You got to borrow the car." Like, "I can't." And then sometimes like she'll borrow the car. She comes back and she'll be like, I hit a tree." And then he's like, I'm gonna tell mom if you don't fucking.
Oh no!
Oh yeah,
you gotta blow me.
Yeah, you know what I like though? I do like when I don't like it when the girl is like too when the stepsister is like, "Come on, let's do it." But I do like when the two of them realize what they're doing is wrong, and then she's like, "Let me just put it in for a minute." And then I'm like, "That's
put it in.
Let me put it in for a minute." I'm like, these two are getting up to know this monkey business.
Yeah.
But you want to hear something disgusting?
I do.
Okay. My father, all right. You having fun so far? Are you okay? You having fun?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Good, cool. Okay, great. Okay. So my dad was married 4 times. Right?
Okay.
I don't talk to him. He's a terrible guy. I
don't talk to my
Isn't this fun? Isn't this fun?
It's full therapy.
When you said
no. By the way,
something hilarious.
Yeah, I'm like Sasha Grey. If you want to punch me in the stomach, you're right ahead. I'll come like the right no. So my dad's 3rd wife, her name is Pat, and she ended up cheating on him. But she was I like popping pimples.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a thing that you like to do, but I like blackheads and popping pimples. I mean, I don't get to do
I have some blackheads. You want to take care of them?
Let's get over. Don't even.
Oh boy.
Don't ready to check.
We're already webcamming.
Yeah, I'm don't ready to check. I'm not going to cash. Yeah, exactly. I will.
No, there's nothing more gratifying than like a nice blackhead.
Oh, dude.
I know.
I don't like
Crazy.
watching like Dr. Pimple Popper because those are always like
not
cysts
so much.
Yeah, that's too much for me.
Yeah, no. I have a thing on my nose where if I squeeze the side of my nose, all this black stuff shoots
I love
out.
that.
Sure.
Yes. All right.
Oh my God, that's like
I'll do it for you before I go. But yeah, when one of my daughters was in kindergarten, I used to do it for all the kids in her class. I'd be like, "Hey, come here, everybody," and I would go,
"Wow!"
I
bet that was a hit.
Oh yeah,
was it the PTA?
Oh my
big
hit.
hit.
Could you imagine the moms snickering in the corner?
Everybody gathers around. He's gonna do it.
Fucking Brooklyn, whatever.
Yeah,
bougie assholes. Anyway, so my dad's 3rd wife, Pat. I like to peel skin too, like if you have a skin sunburn or anything.
Love that.
Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah, so I used to peel her back when she would get a sunburn. I'd peel her back. And I thought she had a really like beautiful back, like arms and back. I was like 11. I was a little pervert. And as a way to get close to her, I would peel the skin off her back and I would eat it.
Oh, that's not. I've done that with my own skin.
Yeah.
Okay.
My own skin.
Okay.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not your stepmother's skin.
Oh, my stepmother.
Yeah.
Well, that's something that's a little like kinky.
And she was attractive though. Like she was.
I mean. I don't
for
know.
a stepmom. But I mean, the stepmom, you can add 4 points. To
yeah, because
of the
stepmom,
circumstances.
period,
Yeah.
I
right?
think she would have been hotter. She was. I think it was almost like there was the only other woman.
She was
Right.
always available. Any
She was
port in a
just
storm.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always been all worked up, so it's not mine.
Yes,
You know, I mean,
yeah.
but I just remember like
Yeah.
peeling her back and being like eating it. You know,
Oh, that is bizarre.
yeah, I was a bedwetter too. I was a mess. Anyway, enough about me. So when you started this free camming thing,
Yeah.
did you have like a roadmap for in your own head? Like, okay, I'm going to start. Like, how soon before you did boy girl? Like, what was the trajectory of all of this?
So yeah, I during the time that I was on my free cams initially, then Streammate, you know, so I was like swapping back between those two cam sites, then all the sexy jobs things,
Right.
which, you know, I didn't know how far I wanted to dip my toes in the water, so I really just wanted to try it out. So I did like a lot of like that private collection stuff, which pays like really good, sometimes better than like industry rates.
Okay, hold on for 1 second.
They never go anywhere.
Private collection is, let's say I have a particular fetish. I go on sexy jobs and I'm like, I want to watch you step on a birthday cake or something like that.
No, private collection is like, okay, come to my hotel room or my apartment, and I'm gonna pay you a ridiculous amount of money, and you know, I'll show you my test, everything, you know.
Oh, you fuck them.
Fuck them.
Oh,
nice. And then the videos are gone. You know, well, I never get it.
Oh,
There's
and then they film it too?
They film it, yeah.
But do they ever come in? Is it lit like a set?
Sometimes it happens, yeah, a couple of times. Other times it's like just the handheld camcorder.
Right. Right.
Wait. Okay, so I'm on here, right, at sexyjobs.com.
Uh-huh.
You want to make some extra money?
Well, or find talent.
Oh.
So there's find jobs, find talent. So essentially you'd just be like setting up, it's like a private shoot. Right.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
How is that? Wow, I can't believe that's well, I guess it's probably not legal. Right? Did I answer my own question?
It's not illegal.
That's
because you do, you know, trade IDs and sign it and everything.
Oh, okay.
But they just tell you like this is never gonna go anywhere. Like I sold it, you know, they usually have like a wife or something.
Interesting.
Excuse me. And they just want to like, you know, have it for themselves.
I can see.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Come on. I understand the kink of like putting in
ad online, 100%.
Having bareback sex with some girl that I saw on a sexy video, and then having my own like collection of the videos.
I just didn't know there was such an easy way to set that up.
Oh yeah. I mean,
yes.
You could, and in a way, it's actually a lot more ethical than just calling an escort.
I like it, yeah. I like
hiding a fucking camera.
Sure, right.
Oh, for sure.
Find talent.
And you know what? It did help me, you know, be able to, when I actually decided to shoot with a company,
right,
to be like super comfortable.
Right.
You know, because I already, you know, was, do I actually want to do it? Do I want it on the internet? Do I want everyone to find out? And then one day I was like, you know what? I'm all in.
Now okay. Now I'm not trying to count your money.
No.
But $500, $600, something like that. 1,100. Around that.
For the private collections,
yeah.
They would give whatever I would ask.
Oh,
you
nice.
know.
Okay.
Yeah, like the first scene I ever did, it was just a standard boy girl.
Okay.
I got $800 for that.
Okay,
nice.
You know, and then from there, like 1,200.
And you got smart with figuring it out, right? And would you? And it sounds like a stupid question, but would they Venmo you or PayPal or just cash?
At that time, we didn't have like the Venmo and all that, you know.
Maybe
it would be PayPal.
Okay.
A check.
Okay.
Or cash.
Okay, I see.
And the cash would always be in an envelope, like very much sugar daddy-esque.
Yes.
How many 800 roses?
I hate that. So
oh my God, roses, right?
So corny.
Right?
So corny. You imagine you're like
this Backpage?
I know. Like, you're like a cop on Backpage. You're like, guys, we can't get her. She said 800 roses for backdoor. She used roses.
Yes, we can't get. We were gonna swarm.
I know, guys. Call off the SWAT team.
We had a whole surveillance team in the next hotel room.
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
But she said roses.
Call off the SWAT team. She called it roses.
She called it roses.
Oh shit, boy! These girls get smarter by the day.
Oh, they sure do.
Okay, so you know it's interesting. Have you ever showed up at one of these experiences and seen the guy and been like, oh, all right, I'd fuck you for free?
Okay. Oh, it happened once, and it was a guy that actually shot this. It wasn't private collection because it was okay. It was like virtual strip poker. Okay.
What?
Yeah, and Andy Sandimas shot with him prior. Do you know who that is? She's back in the day, but like she was iconic at the time. You know, she's kind of like Sasha Grey era. Okay. Like 2005 ish. Okay. So he shot her, and he reached out to me. It was like $800, $600, something like that, because I didn't have to do anything.
So when you say virtual poker,
virtual strip poker. So I would like have the cards or whatever, and I don't know. I was given like prompts, and I would just have to say stuff, and then be like, oh, okay, and like, you know, take my top off or whatever, and then like after like we wrapped, I made the move, and I was just like, all right, let's fuck. Like,
you want to fuck the guy?
Oh, yeah, I was like, you're fucking hot.
Oh, wow.
Like,
okay,
wow.
And it was actually bomb. Yeah, it was actually good.
It was good.
Yeah,
good dick. Wow,
good D.
Oh, and then like my boyfriend at the time like picked me up.
Oh wow, was he okay with it? Did you tell the boyfriend or no?
Were you non-monogamous?
Did I tell him I fucked him? No.
Oh, you didn't tell me you fucked him. How would you? Okay, so that brings up an interesting point, because I've had, like we've had like Nicole Aniston's done the show. We've had different girls on the show, and it is a challenge to maintain a relationship in this industry with somebody.
Yeah.
But if you have somebody who's like cool with it, like then they almost veer into like fan or cuck territory.
Right.
100%.
So it's difficult. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so you almost, it's a double-edged sword, because you want somebody who's like cool with what you do, but at the same time, if they're too cool with what you do, then they're like, it's almost like they're kink.
Yeah, and then it becomes kind of annoying, because it's like,
when they come home, they're like,
what was his dick like?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, because it's like, come on, this is my job at the end of the day. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, or when they like try to get you to stop your job completely, which like I would never do that for anyone. I just feel like, you know, like if you're in the industry, like unless you really find that cool person, no person is ever really going to be like 100% okay with it, no matter how much they say they are.
Well, I got to tell you, I feel like if you very happily married, I've been with my wife for a long time. I love her dearly. But if I was single, like my girlfriend before this, she was a dancer. She did some webcamming and stuff, but she was a dancer, and she worked at like Scores, and we lived in Miami. She worked at Miami Gold and blah blah blah. Anyway, but okay. I would always. Right. I was. Oh, yeah. What are you doing?
Snap.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
For the kids doing it, you know, they like something.
Okay.
Like,
I was giving you the snap.
She worked at the Miami Gold with the outlet version. She had covered in cesarean scars, and she had one leg. But but she was. But I was always cool. Like, I didn't really, like, I got it. I was like, this is your job, whatever, go to your job and do it. But she had issues with it. Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
So I always felt like it was an ironic thing, because in my mind, I was like, look, I get it's your job. Like, you go right ahead.
You were more okay with it, maybe than she was.
Yeah, yeah. And I tell you,
she probably just felt bad, you know?
She hated doing it. And also, like, she would work like on a Friday night, and she'd make like $4,000.
Yeah.
And then she would not go back to work again until she had $1. She would spend all of it. You know what I mean?
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. The job. I danced for a while, you know, in between, just as a hustle. And I had the bartender tell me, like, one of my first days ever dancing, and she'd be like, "Look, like, I know, like, you're, you know, because like my first day dancing, I probably made $800.
Right.
So, you know, like, that's like the first time I ever saw money like that, like in one night. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was like, she was like, look, a lot of girls make this mistake. They think that it's gonna always be like that. You know, you just got to
put it away.
Keep at it, put it away. Right.
Sure.
Save. And that's the thing, you know, when you are like introduced to that new money, I think we all do it. We all slip up, and we all, you know, we want to get ourselves whatever and all nice.
Yeah, especially when you, like with Tyra Banks, at some point your butthole's going to fall out, and that's going to be expensive.
100%. That's going to be very expensive.
You got to stuff all that meat back up in your shit pipe. Yeah. No, and it's the kind of thing too where, like, you don't, like, I would always say to this girl, I would say, listen, like, at the time 22 young, you know, and I would say, listen, just like do this for like 5-6 years, whatever it is. If you're going to do this kind of thing, do it. Hump, make the thing, and walk out with like $1 million. Right. And then like do whatever, go to school, you know, like,
even if she was able to save, you know, 100 bands, like, you know, something like that. That's, you know, because you could change your life then after that.
Or at least have something to show for these years and years.
Exactly, because a lot of people don't.
No, you're absolutely right. So, all right, so you did this private collection stuff. So at what point did you start like shooting content for other people before you started
content for other people, or shooting with like actual production companies?
Production companies.
Okay, so I kept putting them off. Sexy Jobs still.
Okay.
So
so if I'm a production company, I go on Sexy Jobs and I look for girls.
Yes.
Okay, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you know, you get like, as long as you're like active on it, it's like
go ahead.
You know, like a little, imagine like being like available now, like, you know, so they'll be able to see whoever's like using the website frequently, and you know, so you'll get like a ton of emails. Like even today I was looking at my phone and I had probably 5 emails from Sexy Jobs, which nowadays they're a lot scammy, and you know, but you could weed them out. And I don't really have the need to use it anymore. But hey, if there's like a new up and coming company, why not? But
hey, when you just mentioned scammy, can I just jump in for 1 second?
Yeah, please.
So this is just something that's going on in my life right now. It's pretty stupid, but I recently had an expensive piece of clothing that I purchased on something called Poshmark. You know Poshmark? Okay, right. Yeah. It was a Gucci denim jacket, right? And I bought it and it didn't fit. Okay. And it was like $2,500, but I got it for $800, and it just didn't fit. For whatever reason, it didn't fucking fit.
Yeah.
Whatever. So I had the
Denim's hard.
Thank you.
Denim's hard.
You know, I don't know, but it was funny. It was like, but I put it on. I was like, maybe I'm pretty broad. I don't know if I'm too jacked. You know, I work out.
Right.
Probably too jacked.
I put up plates. I put up plates. Right? You know how it is. I put up plates. When I was in the big house, we worked out with bags of water. Stay with your race.
Yeah,
stay with your race.
You in the Aryan. You in the woods.
Me in the Aryan. Me and then Peckerwoods. Left mix it right, exactly. Donkey crouches. Anyway, so I had this dumb jacket and I couldn't return it, so I was like, "Fuck." So I went on eBay and I had the jacket and I was like, you know, I'm just selling eBay, whatever. It was so easy. I like got rid of it immediately, and I was like, "Oh, that was kind of easy." And I don't ever sold anything on eBay,
right?
But you make it. All you do is like they practically write the description for you. They make the shipping label. All you really need is like they populate all of the content and stuff for you. It's not if you want to sell something on eBay, it sounds like they're a sponsor. They're not. Right. But like if you want to sell something on eBay, it's super. All you need to do is take pictures of the fucking thing, and then they will populate like all of the other thing, like what the name of the thing is, blah 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 blah.
Wow.
So anyway, so then I had like a watch. So then I was like, I sold that. And I was like, I have a bunch of like watches that I don't really wear.
Yeah.
I was like, we sell a watch. So I have this watch, and so I put it up there, and it's not expensive. It's like $1,900. You know, it's nice watch, fine. Yeah. So I just put it up there. So immediately the first day, I get some guy like on the message, and it's like, saw your watch, and I would like to purchase it from you, but I don't want to do it through eBay. And this is I wanted you to actually read it. It's really funny. He goes in the message, he goes, "I promise this will be a blissful transaction." And I was just like, motherfucker, I'm not. And like, because I told my wife, I was like, oh yeah, some guy wants to buy the watch like outside of eBay. So what am I going to, you know, it's like obviously going to rip me off. But I was like, there's no better way to like show that you're like scamming somebody by calling it a blissful trend. Anyway. Yeah. So, okay, fuck that. So Sexy Jobs.
No, but I like that story.
Thank you very much. I just don't want to lose my heart on. So Sexy Jobs, you're on Sexy Jobs. Now your producers are now kind of using this as a way to find content.
Oh yeah, and they were like, you know, like I had like OC Modeling, Hussy,
yeah, Sandra McCarthy, shout out, you know her.
No,
Okay,
I
well,
don't.
she works
I
for.
don't.
She owns the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I was supposed to do like the whole like, okay, so usually when you get into porn, like at like, that age, you go straight, you do the Brazzers, you do Bang Bros, you do Team Ski, you do Reality Kings, all those.
Sure.
And they like fly you out, they take care of your test and everything, they give you somewhere to stay, all that. And like I said, I didn't want to leave my sister behind. Oh. Being that, like, my mom just like passed away, like, I mean,
I get it.
We're here now.
Sweet.
But so I didn't want to leave her. So I was like, you know what? Let me see what I can do in New York. And I had people like Rodney St. Cloud, who's amazing. He has a bunch of different websites. One of them is Strippers in the Hood, where he's like a male stripper, and like the girl orders him, like, so like you would be dressed, like I would have to dress like I'm coming from the club, like and like costume jewelry and like heels and all that, and like. Oh, and then like, my male stripper's here. That was like the first time that like I was on a set with like cameramen, and like, that was like my first like real big production.
Was he white or black?
Black.
Okay, black. Okay. Mm-hmm. Big dick.
It's like insane. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's supposed to look like a bachelorette party or something, and then everybody ends up basically blowing the guy.
It's just me.
Oh, just you? Oh, okay. Because I've seen those videos where I'm like, they're actually kind of great because you're like,
oh, those ones are cool.
Like Dancing Bear.
Because it's kind of like, you're got it flipped there a little bit. But yeah, you go. Because it's a lot of times the girls seem very like they are just kind of hanging out and they're riled up, and then guy puts whipped cream on his dick.
I like those.
It's fucking great.
Those are fun.
Sure.
But this, it's like, so like I just came back from the club. Sure, I'm all drunk. I want my male stripper.
Right.
And,
Okay. And Rodney St. Cloud shows up with his 15-inch dick. And okay. So you started working. So because of your family situation, you started working for producers in the New York area.
In the New York area.
Which, again, there aren't that many.
New York, Connecticut.
Oh,
yeah.
A lot of clam chowder scenes. Yeah. Right. Hi, I'm in from Yale, and
warm lobster roll.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You call this exactly.
Excuse me, this is Maine style.
Right.
Is it Connecticut or New Haven or whatever style?
Yeah, I think
What's the style where it's warm?
It's warm and butter. It's Connecticut style. That's a lobster roll. Connecticut style. White people. Anyway, so
no, I love a lobster roll. Don't get me wrong.
But a Connecticut one has butter. And a Maine lobster roll has a mayonnaise.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Kind of gross. Connecticut sucks. So anyway, now this is all mainly urban porn or black or
urban.
Well, you know what? No, there's two really great companies in New Jersey, and they both shoot from their house. One is Intimacy Productions, where like you're there for a long time, but they pay great.
Okay.
The guy lives in like a crazy house where he has like beautiful shower, a beautiful hot tub, beautiful like, great setups, like great rooms, so he has a fucking machine. So a lot of it will be like
he's got
solo.
A fuck machine.
Yeah. I did like one of those, and then
like a Sibian kind of thing, or like one of those like jackhammer things.
Yeah, like one of the jackhammer thing, which like that was like pretty interesting.
Just a hammer drill with it.
Dude, it's the thing. They strap you in. I see it on Kink a lot. They strap you in.
And my God. Yes, I know.
It's hard.
I just applied. I just sent in my application
for Kink
yesterday.
Right, yeah. Fun.
All right.
Everyone think positive thoughts for the Kink. If you can,
I'm dying to. That was like the first thing that I've ever. Oh my gosh! Like yes, that love.
And have you always been under the name just Stella Carter? So people want to look you up. Just Stella Carter. Okay.
Yeah.
Standard spelling. It's right on the screen.
Right.
There was a girl that I worked with a girl named Tara Patrick when I first started.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I produced her first pay-per-view special. I directed it, and anyway, so it was all girl. I've only done girl stuff.
Okay.
And there was this girl named Brandy Bell, and she was a porn girl. And it was always kind of fun for me to work with these girls. And then afterward, I'd be like, let me see what else kind of nonsense these girls were up to, like the next day or whatever. And she did a Kink video where she was like it was like a bookstore, like a Strand bookstore, like a regular, everyone's kind of reading books. And some like lesbian, I mean like a hardcore, and I mean this in a positive way.
Right.
Dyke.
Yes.
Like butch haircut and like sleeveless flannel shirt, had her on a dog collar, and was walking her
That's
around.
so hot.
Dude, walking her around this bookstore, and she would just stop. People would like look with their book, and just while they're looking at the book, they'd like finger her, or they would
I love those.
It was crazy. It
While
was
they're
like
looking at their book. Huh?
yeah. Well, they would.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just dog ear this.
Yeah, but don't dog it. Don't dog it. If you're gonna buy it, then use a bookmark.
Yeah.
My mother always said.
Right.
But if you don't have, but if you're finger blasting somebody, you might not have it in hand.
That's what my mother
That's what you
used
got
to
to
say.
dog ear.
That's right.
Give you like,
Yeah. Fair enough. Right. So anyway, but yeah, so you put an application for King. So now you're shooting at this intimacy guy's house. So but what's his wiggle? Like, so he's got some big McMansion thing. You go out there and you're there all day, overnight?
intimacy.
No, not overnight. I want to say maybe 4 or 5 hours.
A long time.
Yeah, it's
So-
long.
Let me ask you a question. With somebody like that, do you know what you're doing prior to getting there?
Yeah, he does send like a pretty good email.
Shoot list, maybe?
Yeah,
Okay.
shoot list,
Okay.
you know, like, oh, we'll do you solo like this, and then,
Okay.
you know, whatever.
I said, is he also in it?
He's in a couple clips, but really it's very much girl focused.
Oh, very nice. Okay. Well, intimacy.
He
and
does
I guess-
he'll hop in some of them.
Intimacy Productions.
Yes.
Okay.
You found it?
Yeah.
He's good.
Right here on the internet.
Yeah.
He can't tell you the capital of Poland, but he'll
No,
pull up Intimacy
certainly
Productions in
not.
a hot minute. Okay, so now you're doing this kind of stuff. You're still keeping it local, this intimacy, this stripper guy.
Yeah.
At what point do you, whatever your situation is,
When did I realize that I was like something?
or at least when did you realize you could in fact start to like take this to another, take this to 11, as we say?
Oh, when like the Rodney St. Cloud shit went on the internet, and then I was like trending on Pornhub, I was like, oh, okay, she's a porn star now.
Ah, okay.
You know?
Very good. Okay. Now, has anyone in your like life prior to being in the adult industry, has people find you, right?
Oh yeah, my high school really
boy.
did. They really did
Uh-oh.
some really horrible things.
Like what?
They did
no.
really horrible things. They doxed me on Pornhub. They wrote my first and last name.
Ooh.
They said she's the biggest hoe in my hometown. Which, mind you, like they only said that because none of them ever had the opportunity of fucking me.
Sure.
You know, I really did. I wasn't like I dressed slutty, but that was just like, you know, that was like the time, like Paris Hilton, like, you know, like
Sure.
pull your G-string out of your pants and like
Right.
in the juicy tracksuit. Like
Okay.
that's very much how, you know, push-up bra, like tits out here, like
Can I tell you my vibe from you, honestly?
Yeah.
Like you seem very sweet,
Uh-huh.
and you seem almost, I mean this very affectionately, almost kind of nerdy. Like you
Oh,
seem,
I am.
Yeah.
such a
So
fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
yeah. So it's, I can't see you. Look, you can have sex with whoever you want when you're in
Uh-huh.
high school, whatever it is, but yeah, I can't, I can see that. I mean, I don't imagine that were you promiscuous in high school? I mean,
like a little bit, I guess.
Right.
A little bit. You know, I would like send nudes and stuff.
Okay, that's
Okay.
something.
You know, but like
Yeah.
I wasn't, you know, or like there was this one guy like who he would like always have a girlfriend.
okay.
So like I'd be like the secret girlfriend, and we'd have to like meet by like the lockers by the library to make out
Ooh.
when I was in 7th grade.
Oh,
Yeah,
7th grade.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
You hit
yeah.
the ground running.
you know.
Okay. All right.
Let's go behind the beaded curtain
Okay.
while it's getting kind
All
of.
right. Let me.
scintillating.
Prior to that, let's just do a quick thing here. So
Okay.
remember, guys, get a fucking t-shirt. Don't be a stupid idiot every minute of your life. Go to Brian P. McCarthy on the. Did you see the dumb website? You probably didn't even look, did you?
Of course, I look.
Oh my God! Thank you. Nice to meet a fan.
Oh,
No. And
this got
and of course,
weird.
what's the best way for independent of your Twitter? How do we find what if we want to like really get in your let's call it your luggage space?
we want to peruse your oeuvre,
Yes.
Uh-huh.
How do we prove
your body of work.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say
Go ahead.
for if you're like not a pay for your porn person,
No.
I'm on all the tube sites.
Okay.
You
All
know,
the tubes.
not hard to find me on those. ManyVids, OnlyFans.
I will tell you, there have been times where even somebody like I will pay for porn. I don't mind. I'll pay for porn.
Thank
So
you.
a
That
lot
means
of-
a lot to
Yeah.
us.
A lot of times-
I'm speaking
Yes.
on behalf of all
Oh,
of
yeah.
us.
A lot of times I'll look at it and I'll be like, oh, that was kind of fun. And then I'm like, you know what? It's not even like it's not a charity thing at all. Because are you on OnlyFans?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. See, my always thing when I tell girls is like, make your OnlyFans super your own space. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
And then that is when people, because if you can get it on OnlyFans and not get it anywhere else, then that's really great. Because sometimes you'll see something on, because like the tube sites are fine, they're great, whatever.
Right.
But then the good stuff is on OnlyFans.
Right.
That's always the way to do it. So if you see Miss Carter's work on any of the tube sites, just go to OnlyFans. We can find you if we just search your Stella Carter on OnlyFans, right?
Stella Carter XXX.
Right.
It's on OnlyFans.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure if you
Sorry.
typed in Stella Carter, it would come up. I think I'm the only one.
You still doing those private things? Where can we?
The private ones? I really don't.
Cash
I
talks,
really don't
though.
do it anymore.
Cash talks. So
But you know what?
Go
There
ahead.
are like some fetish session things that you know that.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
those people they sometimes will post them up on.
So you're open minded, so we can find you. We can find you in the sexy video. So you're available, travel, and everything else.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Good. All right. So let's show her some love and let's get out there, and we're gonna go behind the beaded curtain, and maybe let's do a little pimple popping, if you know what I mean. Oh yeah.
Cool.